All right, welcome kings and queens. Today we are talking Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 6, Episode 2. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, the palace? I want to know. What we doing here? We liking it? We loving it? Is the jury still out? Where are you with this episode? Did it give all things love and marriage? Or is it easing back into what? Is it the same? Are you shocked? Like, just talk to me in the chat. Where are you? I need to get a post check. Okay. Before we jump in, I want to share something with you. My thoughts around something that was disclosed in one of Melody's recent interviews. She shared that, about a week and a half ago? Good old Marty Marr. Yeah, good old Marty Marr sent her 10 dozen roses. Wow. Very interesting, Martell. Very interesting. You're really trying to play this thing right behind the scenes, but not publicly. So we need the public energy to match the same. We need that private energy to be brought to public, to match the same public scrutiny that you place her under. We need public apologies. We don't need you trying to hide your hand. Not only that, I need you to be original, okay? Because my problem with this is you gave Ariane the same roses that she had plastered all over her Instagram. So at least you got to get creative and innovative when it comes to wooing your ex-wife, because this ain't it, my boy. This ain't it. It's nothing original about that. Hell, you gave that to the woman that you cheated on your wife with. Really, Martell? You that damn lazy? You that damn lazy? You couldn't think of nothing else? See. Oh, Marty Marr. I don't know. What are y'all thoughts about that? Because immediately I thought, didn't he do the same thing for Ariane? And you wonder why Melody don't want you? All right. Well, let's get into it. For those of you who are just tuned in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the palace. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television. But most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. There's a couple of things I want to cover. We're going to talk about Stormy and Melody. We're going to talk about Kiki and Letitia. We're just going to talk about the cousins, okay? Tisha and her other cousin, and then Tisha and Kiki. And then I'm going to really hone in on Nell Fletcher on this one. Nell, welcome to the palace. Yes, Nell. Yes, Nell. I'm sorry, Nell. You earned this one. So I got to be fair now. I will be covering you. Okay? So that's what we're working on today. All right? Are y'all ready? So they opened up this scene with a continuation of Stormy and Melody's conversation that they were having on last week. Last week, I guess Stormy called herself confronting Mel about the lack of communication and all of that. They pick up where they left off. And it's very much weird to me that Stormy would think, because the word she used it's weird for Mel to disconnect. But that's weird to me. Is it really? Is it really weird for Mel to disconnect, huh? You found that weird? So you understand when she does it to everyone else, but not you. Well, let me ask you something, Stormy. What makes you so special? What's so different and unique about what you have with her that we're supposed to be picking up or seeing? Because in my opinion, you treated Mel like crap, just like the rest of them. Okay? But maybe I'm missing something. I'd love to hear more from you, Stormy. Why is it that Mel is allowed to disconnect and you find it perfectly normal when she disconnects from everyone else, but it's weird when she disconnects from you? Because according to what you shared with Betty, prior to you having this conversation with Melody, you told your mama you're not her friend and that y'all were building in the building phase of connectivity. Okay? So remember, you were building. And I find it funny that the same thing you're asking for, Stormy, which is communication. You said, well, you could have at least let me know. You could have communicated a little bit better. So that's what you're asking. You're asking for thorough communication from Melody to announce her plans to you when she intends on disconnecting. But you fail to communicate with your customers when our orders are 3, 4, 5 months delayed. So make it make sense. I ordered something from you in November, and I just received a proper email in April. Y'all do the math. But, Stormy, you require communication from others, but you don't give the same thing when it comes to your business. Okay. So Stormy brings up to Melody, hey, we didn't even talk at the reunion. And I would have thought, being that it was my first reunion, you would have at least said something. And Melody said, I did. I told you look real pretty. And she said, yeah, that was 10 hours later. So you clocking Melody like that? You timing her? Okay. Did you think about that when you were running the streets with Destiny and filming shady shit with Destiny? I find it funny, y'all. What are your thoughts? Help me out here. Why do people think Melody owes them stuff when they give zero in return? Do y'all know anybody like that in your life? Zero loyalty from Stormy. Zero intervention when your mama stepped out of line. You haven't ridden for Mel, but your expectation is she's the gift that should just keep on giving. Child, whatever. Not only that, how come you didn't tell us Melody pitched you for this show? Now, you had your mama tell us everything else, but how come you didn't tell her to say that piece? Okay? Yeah, your mom was all online, I guess, dropping alleged tea about Melody and Martell's business, talking about their home. They're not a power couple. They don't own that house. They're renting and don't believe everything what you see and all of this crazy stuff. But how come you didn't tell your mama to insert the part where you asked Melody to help you get on television? And you had your team to reach out to her team, huh? How come y'all didn't say that part? Because that would have been just as interesting and powerful. Oh, okay. We're not doing that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Melody, you would probably do better, Melody, helping a regular smuggler to be on the show as opposed to any of these posers pretending to be something that they're not. Okay. You'll probably do better helping just a regular old person. For real. Because these broads have not shown you not 1 ounce of gratitude and or appreciation. So I really wish in that moment, Melody, I wish you would have handed it to her. And here's where I wish you would have let her know that you're not really messing with her like that. And I know you did in your own way. And as a matter of fact, let me do it for you. Hey, Stormy. Let me tell you something about Scorpios. When we sense or figure out that you wear a 2-sided face, you're out of here. No memos are sent. No organizational announcements will be made. It's a wrap. Stormy, you are done. Melody ain't fucking with you like that. Sorry. So I find it funny that it was funny because Mel said, now here she is saying, I'm not going to DM you, but you watching all of my stories. Okay, it's that same energy. When you click her story, it's that just click DM real quick. That's it, Stormy. But I find it funny that you watch her story. And I believe Melody. Because in their scene, when they were talking, Stormy mentioned how Mel went on a YouTube. Actually, it was in Stormy's confessional. Trying to throw shade, girl. Talking about how Melody went on a YouTube press tour. It could have been you. But you wanted to talk all crazy to the YouTube bloggers. You remember that? How did that work for you? Been around the world and I can't find my... Yeah, exactly. How did that work for you? And if you notice, we're not really checking for nobody but Melody on that show. Okay? I like Big Lou. That's the only other person I'm checking for. Okay? So I don't know, Stormy. Maybe it was, are you mad? Did you want a YouTube press tour? And your Canvas beauty couldn't get you in front of a little YouTuber? Is that what's going on? What do y'all think? Because, yeah, that was a lot of shade. Do you think Stormy was throwing shade when she tried to say Melody was on her YouTube press tour? I thought it was hella shade. But what are your thoughts? I'll give you an example. Kimi recently did an interview with the lady, okay? And throughout that interview, guess what? They were asking about Melody. You get what I'm saying? You get my drift? Y'all aren't that important. Because when people start to insert questions about the leading castmate into your interview, you already know what time it is, baby. Or at least you should know. Now, as Stormy continued to share her frustrations regarding what Melody shared in her interview about a recording, Stormy, you and Melody are on the same page, sweetheart. Because if Melody didn't believe that you didn't record her, she would have said it in that moment. And she didn't. So going on now. You're not to be trusted, obviously. Another thing Melody shared in a recent interview that she did, she shared that the reason she recommended Stormy for the show was because of Stormy's professionalism. I get it, Melody. I'm picking up what you're putting down. And what she's saying to us guys is that all this bravado and this ghetto-ness that we're seeing from Stormy and on the screen, that wasn't the girl that she met. And that's not the girl that she recommended for the show. Okay? Now I want to shift to the dynamics between Martell and Melody and how other people are dealing with it on the cast. I am not cool with how Kimi and Maurice appear to taunt Melody and Martell when it comes to their dynamic. And they do it in the most sophisticated way. Okay? Kimi, you really need to keep your mouth shut about women who are breaking away from toxic relationships. It doesn't matter what you think. You know the best thing to do. Because the best thing to do is to not speak on it. Obviously, there's some type of manipulation and or abuse, in my opinion. But yet, here you are. You keep speaking on this man wanting to get back with this family as if Melody does not or did not have a legitimate reason for leaving him alone in the first place. Kimi, you are completely disconnected from Melody. And you are really heavily male identified. Okay? So I don't know if Kimi is a girl's girl or if you're just not Mel's girl. She said it in so many words that has been a very debilitating relationship for her. And here you are speaking on it. Sweetheart, you're going to have to find your quiet zone. You're really going to have to find your quiet zone. Okay? It's not your place. And it's grossly irresponsible to say there's always going to be a piece of you that will continue to see them together because that's how I met you. Well, first of all, they're not twins. They were a man and a woman. So I don't know how you cannot seem to unsee it, but you're adding fuel to the fire. Martell may have won you over with his charisma, or either you're purposely overlooking Mel's well-being. But the right thing to do, Kimi, is to stop talking about it, period. Stop talking about it, especially on camera. Talk about something else. Talk about Maurice. Talk about other stuff, but stop speaking on that because you're not helping. You are feeding a monster. This man is handsomely dangerous, and I'm not talking about his looks. I'm speaking about his ability to hiss like a snake. And so, yeah, he's ensnaring you with all of that charm. I know what's best for me. I'll never say that again. I want my wife. And maybe that's what you needed, Kimi, because you've were single for a number of years and maybe you needed validation, but that's not what Melody needs, nor is it what she wants. And every time you give an amen or hallelujah to this man by way of really, all of that, you're placing more danger on Mel's plate. Production, do better. Do better, because you're feeding a monster. Production. Martell made his mattress with his mistress. Now let him lay in it. And if he hasn't taken you anywhere, Arion, now you know why. The man said he don't even like going out of town anymore if it's not with Melody and his family, because it's not meaningful. I don't know how much more proof you need, Arion. You should have been on the first thing smoking out of Huntsville, back to Cleveland, Columbus, Ohio, wherever you from. You should have packed your shit up a long time ago and left. You said y'all, we co-parent good. Okay. Y'all can still co-parent good. But ain't no way in the world a man can go on TV and call me a peasant, go on a press tour, relationship tour, call me 15%, and then get on TV and say, I want my wife back. And after all the stuff you've done behind this man, you still in Huntsville? Girl, you okay. The man said on camera he knows what's best for him, and it's Melody. Arion, I hope your eyes were not closed during this scene, because we need you to get it. Now, I know you say you took him with your eyes closed, but go ahead and open your eyes real quick. Open them up just for this scene. Just for this scene only. Okay? Many years ago, I was studying the psychology of relationships, and I found some very interesting information. What I found or what I discovered was it takes a man a long time to discover he misses a woman and wants her back after the breakup. And in most cases, they say it can take anywhere between 2 to 5 years for him to realize that he made a huge mistake. And they often call it the one I let go, the one I let get away. Considering Martell and Melody's divorce was 3 years ago, and it's just now hitting him, chew on that. In the chat, chew on that. Do you think it's just hitting him, or do you think it's been hitting him and now he's just now talking about it? What are your thoughts? I've said this before and I will continue to say it. You all are just witnessing the beginning of his devastation and his destruction. This is only the beginning, people. Don't be shocked. Do not be surprised if his behavior continues to intensify. Martell wants to walk Melody to her car. And Melody tell him, so he's like, is this your purse? She's like, yes, that's my Versace. Yes, 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 queen. You know what that reminded me of? I know, I kind of feel like Melody stunting on him. That's right, as she should. Because it reminded me, Martell, of all of her belongings that you kept and you refused to allow her to take her nice items from the marital home. But you gonna learn today, Marty Mar. Okay? You gonna learn today. And it reminds me of that Lenny Williams song as he's sitting there crying about wanting to walk her to her car. And he said, you know, I told my friend, maybe you've never been in love like I've been in love. And maybe you've never felt the things that I felt. But this is what I told. I said, you get lonely. You get lonely. Oh, 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 oh. And I cry. I cry. Oh, 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 oh. And that's what's happening, y'all. He's lonely. He's lonely. You cannot hump your way to healing. And Martell has been humping his way to healing all of his life. Pre-marriage, while in the marriage and post-marriage. And ain't enough sex in the world, Ariel, or doggy tricks that you do for him has been able to stop him for wanting his wife. That was a weird move of Martell to jump in and interrupt Melody saying goodbye to Lou and Tiffany. And he says, okay, we're gone. I want y'all to pay real close attention. If you did not pay attention to that scene, please go back and pay attention. And I don't know if you all realize what was happening in that moment, because I sure did. It was a power play to shut her down. And I want each of you to consider something. Let me go off topic for just a second. Dogs use the same energy to play as they do when they fight. Yep. I learned that from a dog expert. The same energy that your dog uses while playing is the same reservoir of energy that they pour from when in a dog fight. So sometimes a dog trainer will tell you while your dog is playing in the middle of his excitement to abruptly command your dog to stop. And this is important because if you can get your dog to stop playing in a moment and listen to you, then you can also do the same thing in a dog fight. The same energy that Martell used when he interrupted her to say, we're gone. Okay, we're done. We're out of here. We're gone. Y'all, that's the same reservoir from which his aggression flows. Just be mindful of that. And it was very disruptive. But you can, because it was very disruptive because you can see the concerned look on Tiffany's face. Okay. Maurice and Kimi. They go to a scene between Maurice and Kimi. And Kimi shared with Maurice that Martell really misses Mel. And Maurice's response was, well, he needs to make up his mind because he says one thing one moment and says a different thing in other scenarios. And Maurice actually used the word hate. That's deep. So you knew this man hated her in the past. And you stepped up and you piled on as a grown-ass man. And you told Kimi that it seemed like she was Team Mel. And Mel is the one that gets all of the mess started. And you said all of this, Maurice. This is very disappointing. Knowing that this man hates, or at times hate this woman. Okay, because those are your words. And now that we know that you had all of that knowledge and you still went at Mel, I look at you different, Maurice. I look at you different, sir. That's very disappointing. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, but let me move on to my next point. But I just want to know, it's funny because it was my first time hearing from Maurice that Martell is the one that ruined his marriage. Why now? Why say that now? What has prompted your change of heart to hold Martell accountable or even come slightly close to doing so? I'm just curious. Now, it's interesting that you refer to Melody as a woman scorned. That's very interesting to me. Okay. Kimi responded to that with, well, it's easier said than done. Kimi, what is it about a man hating a woman that's easier said than done? I don't know. I'd love for you to break that down for us and explain exactly what you meant. It's easier said than done. Okay. I am going to shift to Letitia's and her dynamics between her family. But before I do, Chris Fletcher. Chris, what are you doing? And I'm referring to your lack of communication with your wife. What are you doing? Chris Fletcher had a date night scheduled and planned with his wife, but he didn't tell Martell that it was a date night, and he didn't tell his wife that Martell was coming. Chris, no, sir. No, sir. Always keep your wife in a loop. Always keep your wife in a loop. That's all I got for you, Chris. Now let me move on to Letitia. Okay. So check this out. All right. Y'all ready? We just met Letitia's replacement. I think what's going on with Love and Marriage Huntsville, they keep, it's like dominoes. They are shuffling the dominoes around and around. They're throwing this person in front of us, that person in front of us. And I think they're doing a live, in the moment, real-time casting call to see what sticks by way of personalities, people's family. Let's bring this person on. Let's bring that person on. Okay, if you want to play that game, producers and production team, make Courtney Letitia's replacement. Okay? But before I explain why I say that, let me share an observation. I do not believe, nor do I think, Letitia and Marcel have a legitimate office building. I've noticed that they use this nightclub as a primary scene to shoot their life. That is not reality television, y'all. I need y'all to wake up. I need y'all to wake up and see they playing with us. Your damn life is not in that nightclub. You done shot your date night in there. You done shot your business meetings in there. You done shot you talking to your cousin in there. They need to go. It's time for Letitia and Marceau to go. And we just met her replacement. Okay? Because I'd rather take Courtney over Letitia. You don't hold legitimate business meetings in a nightclub. I've seen them held other places, restaurants, but not a damn nightclub. Unless you're a rapper, a drug dealer. You get what I'm saying? Okay. That's why I'm saying this don't make sense, Carlos. You're losing us by the minute. And I know you promised Marceau and Tisha a slice of the pie, but sweetheart, you're going to have to pull them up out of that nightclub if you want this to be believable and if you want your ratings to go up. Because it ain't giving reality television. It's giving staged, fake. My house isn't filmable. Okay? Because people that have great environments, they film in their homes. People that have nice homes film in their homes. So you've allowed Marcel and Letitia Scott to skirt by for years. And guess what? We're over it. We get it. They ain't really brought too much to the table. You've promised them some type of deal off the side of your desk. That's fine, but we're over it. And until we get real life, we're not tuning in. And your ratings will continue to fall. But let me get back. What legitimate business CEO do you see dragging potential or prospective clients to a nightclub to discuss partnerships or numbers? And by way of numbers, I mean profit. I'm sorry to share this, folks. I said it. This is yet another fake storyline by the Scotts. If you have a legitimate brokerage firm, Letitia, the brokers I've worked with in the past, they conduct their client-facing meetings from their office, not in a nightclub. I don't believe Letitia is running a successful brokerage firm in Huntsville. I just don't believe it. I don't buy it. How come you're not shooting in that office? Brokers have offices, even if they work from home. Girl. Ooh, here's the thing, Carlos. I don't think you understand your demographic. And I think there's a huge disconnect. When you pitched this show, before you baited and switched on us, you pitched this show to a high caliber, a very stellar audience of successful, educated African-American women. You cannot pull wool over our eyes and call it black excellence. Listen, a lot of these women could run circles around Kimi and Letitia, period. Like Ariane say, with their eyes closed. Okay? So you cannot continue to film in a damn nightclub and expect these beautiful African-American women that are tuned in, these smart, successful, profitable African-American women that tune in to believe that, what you put in front of us. And Carlos, you're actually not even slowly. You are losing your audience. You're going to have to figure something out with them Scotts. You're going to have to figure something out. Somebody got to go, and somebody needs to go soon. Okay? I just don't buy it. I heard Letitia mention her cousin is a luxury real estate agent. I don't believe that. I think she's a realtor, and I think she's probably doing a great job, Letitia. But I don't think she's luxury, because when we think along the lines of luxury, we're talking minimum 2.5 million and up. Okay. With all due respect, I don't think Courtney is selling homes priced in that margin. And first off, Letitia, you'd have to have access to that type of clientele. Okay. And I'm going to just leave that right there. So production, out with the old and with the new. I'd rather see this young lady on the screen than Letitia. This girl seemed like she has a lot of sense, a lot of real life experience. Even if she's not rich, I'd rather have a regular person, because that's all Letitia and Marcel are, y'all, regular people that got on TV lying. Let me move on. So I'd rather see Courtney on the screen and growing before the audience than Letitia and Marcel faking it on the screen. The more I see Letitia on the screen, I think, poor Marcel, you have become collateral damage. We really don't want to see your wife on the screen. Okay. We've given her enough time after time after time, time after time. At this point, both Letitia and Kiki can go. I don't have a problem with you, Kiki. I just don't see a place for you. That's not shade. I don't see a place for you on this show. I don't see you having a breakout role in this saga. Kiki, I'm going to tell you why. Because I believe if I'm going to give feedback, I need to give a solution or tell you why. Give you a little bit of background. But hold up. Now, Kiki, I think your fatal mistake was that reunion. It did nothing for you. Absolutely nothing. You didn't give us no tea. You didn't tell us shit. Okay. When you put yourself in a position like that, you got to go big or you got to go home. And you didn't go big. So now you got to go home. Okay. You're on the show and I'm glad you got a contract, but it's not a role or a position that's going to push you out to stardom. You're not going to become this breakout star on this show. Your claim to fame on this show is your beef with your cousin. Kiki, it ain't really too much you can do with that. So I'm just letting you know, that's the reason why I think and feel the way I do. Only about your position on this show. Kiki, back to you. Your storyline is built on hurting your cousin. And the reason why I cannot continue to see you for the show is once you and Letitia make up, it automatically places you in a weird position when it comes to Melody. Okay? Tisha is your cousin, sweetheart. And you said that you wanted to be back with your family, that you wanted to repair your relationship with your family. Then what? Okay? There's only so much Melody can do, but back away quietly. I think you dropped the ball on that reunion, and you've been typecast, unfortunately, by production as the messy cousin. Okay? The only way, okay, let me give you a solution now. The only way you're going to have a strong storyline, listen to me closely. Okay? The only way you're going to get a strong storyline is if you consider letting Letitia drop the T on your marriage, because that's the only way that I can see the slightest bit of longevity on this show for you. All right, Miss Nell. I don't want you in the middle of Melody and Martell. I don't want that to be your introduction to this show. You and Chris may want to measure how you're going to leverage this show for your own gain, because talking about Melody and Martell will not multiply you. This is something you may want to discuss with your assigned producer and say, listen, hold up. So how do you see us fitting in as a couple? Because we don't want Martell and Melody to be our storyline. You say you got a daycare. Chris is a broker. I'm telling you, Nell, don't fall for the okie doke. Do not fall into that trap. carve out your own lane on this show. And I think you're clever enough to come up with something. Just don't let it be that. Now, Nell did say to Martell during that date night that she didn't believe that crap about 20-something babysitters. Good job, Nell. Neither do I. Thank you. Martell has an obsession with the number 20. Because he also said, didn't he say that he hold on. Did Martell accuse his attorney of charging him $20-something thousand and Marcel of having 20-something women? Oh, Lordy. Now, he shared with them that he don't want no men around his kids. And he's referring to the children's biological uncle. What? Negro, you don't want their uncle to see his nieces and nephews? But you think it's okay to have Arion around your children. Okay, you really? Is that what we're doing? Boy, is that what you're doing? Okay. Listen, so they switch scenes, and then Nell and Melody have like this park meetup. And listen, Nell try to get out of Mel who she's dating. Nell, don't do that. Sweetheart, that's what we do behind the scenes as girlfriends, not on camera. Now I'm gonna give you one because you're new to this. And we gotta leave a little bit of room for error and a learning curve as well as a little bit of grace. But Nell, don't come back over here trying to find out what Mel got going on in front of us on camera. Okay. Listen, we're real protective about Melody. And now I'm going to need you to be brought up to speed about this reality thing. We don't do that. You see what I'm saying? Because what if Melody starts saying, girl, tell me how you got over Chris cheating on you. You get what I'm saying now? It's messy. Don't do it. Just be a good friend. So Nell came in talking about it's about the kids. Now, Nell, I done already told you, do not take a strong stance. Stay in the middle. The middle is a safe place for you now. It's going to keep you neutral. Reserve your true thoughts for your kitchen table as you talk to your husband over dinner and a nice glass of wine. Neither Mel nor Martell should know what you really truly feel. Okay? Because you cannot serve two masters in this dogfight. And I don't think you should pry. Especially when it comes to that stand by your man mentality. You get what I'm saying? If you're going to be supportive of Melody, then support Melody where she's at, not where she's been. Melody is the girl Martell used to know. The wife he used to know. The mother of his kids he used to know. It's over. It's too bad, but it's over. It's too bad. It's too bad. Too bad, baby. But I gotta face reality. Now, I'd like to give you a fair shot. But you came in putting Melody in a position. And in your scene with her, you put her in a position where she had to justify her setup between herself and Martell with the children. And Melody, anybody, let me say this to you, Melody. Anybody claiming to be a mutual friend should not be telling you and asking you about what Martell has said. Okay? Don't bring that back to her. Now, I already said we team Mel over here. Why would you bring that Martell mess to her on a national television show? Girl, you could have saved that. So I'm looking at you sideways. Don't let production pump you up to be a bone carrier. Because they'll be nowhere to be found when that audience turns against you, beloved. Don't do it. Focus on you and Chris and what you all can bring to the screen as a black couple that is successful, that have overcome a lot of stuff. Okay? And also now I'm talking to you like a good girlfriend because I kind of like you. But I get what you're up against. But let me just say this. Now you are taking his side, whether you know it or not, especially when you said, can y'all agree on at least 3 babysitters? Don't do that. Don't come in. Don't do that, Nell. Don't come in like that with another woman. You just support her if you're going to support her, or you stay quiet. So it's funny to me that none of these women seem to be tracking what Melody is saying. When she says, with his following pulling up ass, and she goes to cry, what she's saying is this Negro is stalking me. Okay, I'll say it. The man is stalking her. How about that? I'll say it. And then now you tell me, I didn't know about that. Okay. But why should you know it when she wants to keep it quiet? Of course you're not going to know about that because we don't know everything about you and Chris. So why would you know about that? But the point is, you did know she don't feel comfortable being around him one-on-one. So why is it that a woman has to tell you the whole story in order for you to justify her feelings? And I'm not just talking about Nell. I'm talking about most people. When a woman starts to share, no, I don't want to get back with him. Or no, you know what? It's cool. And y'all think he's a good man. And you start to put that pressure on her. And then she got to tell you the whole story in order for you to empathize and or sympathize with her. We're not doing that in 2023. My no is a complete sentence, period. Why does a woman have to give you the entire story before you show any concern for her well-being? I'm really concerned that these people do not get it. And even after Melody said that, Nell, you followed up with, so there's no more. It's over or something like that. What you think, Nell? When a woman says, I can't do this anymore, what do you think that means?
The same people you turning against me, how would they feel if they know you still begging me to take you back?
Well, it's gonna take time. I'm trying to do everything that I can to satisfy you.
You big dummy.
And I hate myself for everything I put you through. You don't deserve it. So the thing is,